we are here together, and I'm grateful that you're present with us to celebrate tonight. I hope you're all well and taking care of yourself and being safe and generating a kind heart to yourself. I know that can be challenging in these difficult times, but I think it's probably one of the best things we can do for ourselves to heal and to be protected, is just to continually generate a kindness toward ourselves. And yeah, I mean, I'm having to learn that too. I don't do it all that often, so I can really notice the difference when I practice that during the day. When I start getting irritated or judgmental, I just practice a kind heart to myself, and that seems to ease things a lot. So I hope you're all doing well. So tonight we're going to celebrate another astrological cycle. The sun moved into the sign of Virgo on August 22nd. And the exact moment of the full moon is happening tonight at 10:22 p.m. So when we close down here, you can go and do a meditation and be in meditation at that time, which is a very powerful moment to be meditating. So we're celebrating Virgo, and the moon is in Pisces. And before we get into that too much, I want to take a few minutes to just connect with one another. So if we can close our eyes for a moment. And those of you who are here present with me tonight, and those who may be watching this later on YouTube, I'd like you to just use your imagination to see all of us sitting together in a circle. Just being present to this moment. Leaving behind all the cares of the day, all the malfunctioning computers. Just being present here in this moment, holding space. And sitting in your sovereignty as a spiritual being. So we come together with a united intention, and that is to be open and receptive to the energies that are pouring down upon us from the constellations Pisces and Virgo. When we join together with a united intention like this, we increase our magnetic power, and that power goes up to the great ones. And it evokes a response from them. So we're wanting to be open and receptive to that response, which is the downpouring of those energies that we're connecting with tonight. So just take a moment and gently put your attention on your heart. Perhaps placing your hand over your heart. And in your imagination, see us connected by a ring of light. And that ring of light starts with your heart and moves around the circle to connect with every other heart in this room, in this place. And now moving your attention to the soul star above your head. See it as a ball of radiant energy. And send that also around the circle, connecting soul to soul with each person. Now we're all joined together in two circles of light. Join heart to heart, soul to soul. Take a moment now to notice how it feels to receive this love and light from everyone here. Let it fill you and allow the feeling of deep connection to enter your body. And now repeat silently to yourself, please. I am one with my group brothers and sisters. And all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Now bring yourselves gently back. Doesn't that just feel yummy to be connected heart to heart and soul to soul to all of you? So my friends, it occurred to me in preparing for tonight that many of you are new to these ceremonies, and I haven't really had a chance to explain to you the real importance of the full moon. Like, what's the big deal about the full moon anyway? So those of you that have been coming to these ceremonies for a while have heard this before, but I thought I'd take a few minutes now to just explain to the new people particularly why we even bother with getting together at the full moon. In the ancient wisdom teachings, the full moon period is called the spiritual high point of the month. And so why is that so? Well, each month our sun moves into a different constellation in the sky. We all know that. So let's take Virgo as an example, since that's what's happening this month. On August 22nd, the sun entered the sign of Virgo. And on that day, we began to receive the energies from that constellation, because the sun was in the orbit of Virgo, you might say. And as the sun moves closer to the exact moment of the full moon, the impact of those energies gets stronger and stronger until the day of the full moon. And on that day, there's this beautiful astrological alignment that takes place between the sun, the moon, the earth, and Virgo. It's just like everything gets connected. In this case, we can visualize the alignment as sort of an electromagnetic ray of golden light that links all four of these bodies. And this alignment creates a portal or a pathway through which the specific energies of this constellation are poured forth onto our planet. Well, we're all energetic beings, and so we are the recipients of this downpouring, and our bodies are impacted. Also, we're told that because of this alignment, the spiritual dimensions are very close to us. It's as if those beings of light who live in the spiritual realms are gazing down at us. And we here in this group are gazing up at them, invoking their blessing and their energy. And at the moment of the full moon, that connection is made possible. We're given an opportunity to align more deeply to the angelic realms, to our guides and teachers, to the masters who oversee our evolution, And we're able to receive their guidance and their blessing and their healing as we open to this downpouring. We're also told in the ancient wisdom teachings that the 5-day period around the full moon is very important. We're told that there are 2 days before the full moon are called the days of preparation. And in those days, we make a conscious effort to raise our vibratory rate, to raise our consciousness to as high a point as we can, so that on the day of contact, those energies that are coming down will stimulate our higher natures rather than just our lower natures or our ego. And as we work with this 5-day period over and over the months, those qualities that are stimulated become embedded in our aura, and we begin to live more from the level of our souls than from our ego or our personality. And so in this way, we can further stimulate our own evolutionary growth. And also, we become a healing agent for the earth because we're embodying those high potency energies. So there's the 2 days of preparation, the day of contact, and then the 2 days following the full moon are called the days of radiation and distribution. And those are the days that we walk through our day conscious of how we are radiating those powerful energies out into the world. So it's a good time to be very mindful of how we walk through our day. So before we dive into Virgo, I'd like to spend a few moments talking about an important aspect that's in the sky right now and will be impacting us for the next 5 months. I'm talking about the Mars-Saturn square. A square in astrology means that these 2 planets are 90 degrees away from each other. And squares are not happy combinations. They don't get along very well together, these 2 planets, when they're in that configuration. They have something they need to work out. They need to learn to get along with each other and use the energies in a more positive way. So you might just imagine that Mars is sitting up here in the sky, and then down here, 90 degrees, well, it's this way, it's a 90-degree aspect. Mars here, Saturn over here. So usually this alignment happens every year, but only lasts for a few days. But this time it's lasting until January of 2021. So the peak moments for that aspect happened on August 24th. You might think back if you can remember what you were doing on August 24th. September 29th is the next one, and January 12th, 2021 is the final hit for that aspect. So what does this alignment mean? Well, as I mentioned, it's a square, so it's not really compatible energy. There's a lot of tension and intensity in this configuration. Saturn is in the sign that it rules, which is Capricorn, and Mars is in the sign that it rules, which is Aries. So that creates a lot more intensity because each sign will be more powerful than it would be normally. And Mars represents the warrior, the god of war. And in Aries, this energy manifests as fiery and assertive. It's young, immature, and restless. It reacts emotionally to everything. Saturn, on the other hand, represents restriction. It's calm, methodical, cool. It thwarts the fiery energy of Mars. It's a more mature sign. So there's this push-pull. Move, take action, do something, do it now. But then this opposing force that says, wait, slow down, think it over, be cautious. So we have this tension and frustration, and we have it within ourselves. I mean, let's be aware this month of that push-pull within ourselves. COVID is the perfect manifestation of this alignment. There's so much frustration because we're confined, and many of us just want to get out there and do something. So what do we do to integrate these energies, to help them cooperate with one another? Well, maybe we can decide to take action for the higher causes that we believe in. Use that fiery passion to work for the good rather than just reacting to the frustration. fight for the good, put our energies into creating something positive. Maybe work out our frustrations in more positive ways, exercising, being in nature, meditating. The challenge is to not be pulled into either side of the polarity, not to identify too strongly with the aggressive, assertive, fiery energy of Mars and Aries, but also not to get stuck in too much constriction in Saturn. So just be aware this month of when that push-pull starts operating on you, and see if you can make an intention to use that energy in a positive way. And if you want to know more about this particular alignment, I put in the chat box the website of an astrologer that puts out an astrology reading every week. And last week she talked a lot about this alignment. So if you're interested in learning more about it, sorry, you can check out the chat box. I was reading stories to my grandchildren today on Zoom, and I probably shouldn't have done that today because it was like 2 hours of reading. Anyway, it's my way of connecting, so it's worth it. Okay, so let's talk a bit about Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, which means it's an energy of the physical world, matter, form, the body. And because it has so much to do with the physical body, I'd like to start by reading a poem. You all know how much I love poetry. So this is a beautiful poem called Blessing the Body by Jan Richardson. This blessing takes one look at you, and all it can say is holy. Holy hands, holy face, holy feet, holy everything in between, holy even in pain, holy even when weary, in brokenness, holy, in shame, holy still, holy in delight, holy in distress, holy when being born, holy when we lay it down at the hour of our death. So, my friend, open your eyes, holy eyes. For one moment, see what this blessing sees. This blessing that knows how you have been formed and knit together in wonder and in love. Welcome this blessing that folds its hands in prayer when it meets you. Receive this blessing that wants to kneel in reverence before you. You who are temple, you who are sanctuary, you who are home for God in this world. I've been reading that a lot this week also because it's been just such a good food for my soul. To just think about, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what energies are running through you, no matter how critical or judgmental or pissed off you might be, holy still. It's a way of sort of taking all the different parts of ourselves and recognizing their sacredness. Every part of you sacred, every part of you holy. And Virgo is such a holy sign because we're told that this sign holds the potential of birthing the Christ consciousness within each of us. This month we can open our hearts to receive this blessing, this gift. The question is, can we take it in? Can we really embody our wholeness, our holiness? Well, that's a challenge for me. As I said, I kind of go in and out of believing it. I just finished writing a blog on it actually called Holy Funk. If you want to read it, I've also put that link in the chat box. It's my website where you can find the rest of the blog, but it really just talks about how I deal with my funks. But making them holy somehow eases that judgment and that criticism that I sometimes have toward myself. You know, sometimes we spiritual people think that we should be spiritual all the time and should never have those so-called negative feelings, but that's not human, right? That's not what it means to be human. Okay, so what's the first thing that pops into your mind when somebody tells you that they're a Virgo? For me, I think, okay, perfectionistic, nitpicking, detail-oriented, obsessed with their body, with health, with purification. Virgos can hold a vision of what a perfect world would look like. And that would mean everything would be in order, everything neat and tidy. And they do work very hard to make this a reality. They must be going crazy at this time in our history. Nothing is in order. Nothing is neat and tidy. But they feel it's up to them to keep the world in order. And when they realize that it's not possible and it doesn't work, they can tend to get discouraged and depressed. They get disillusioned with the imperfections of the world, and they can become judgmental and critical. They're always trying to bring balance, to restore order, to put mistakes right. They can't rest until they feel they've done their duty, accomplished their work, contributed their share. But once the soul begins to make an impact on the Virgo personality, we can see how these qualities can serve a higher purpose. And this is true of every sign. Every sign's energy can serve a higher purpose or a lower purpose, depending upon how we choose to use it. So Virgo's hardworking nature can be focused on perfecting her personality nature, purifying her physical, mental, and emotional bodies to prepare herself for the indwelling Christ consciousness that wants to be born in her. Once the personality is transformed, it becomes a purified container for the development of the soul within. Virgo is symbolic of the womb where we birth the Christ consciousness. We give birth to the principle of unconditional love that resides within each of us. And interestingly enough, Virgo is the 9th sign of the zodiac. So it's also the number of months that it takes to literally give birth. The evolutionary purpose of Virgo is to express her divinity through a purified vessel, so she can be of service to the world. She then becomes a healing agent. Virgos have a lot of healing power. They instinctively know how to bring healing and right human relationships into any situation. So at this point, all of her energies go into serving others, to help others discover their own divinity. And Master Jesus was a perfect example of this, living completely his divinity through a physical body. So that's one of the edicts of the Virgo personality and soul. The soul-centered mantra for Virgo is, I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. Virgo is the mother, the matter, the substance, the form, and the child is the indwelling light of the soul. God is spirit. So I, God, I, spirit, I, matter, am. I am all of these things. This is a synthesis, a joining together of spirit and matter to birth the Christ child, the soul. And just as a mother must carefully nurture her unborn child, so we must nurture our bodies so the energy of love has a place to live within us. So remember that this month as you go through the month, that it's a time of purification. And maybe be a little more careful about your diet and about your health, because we all want to create this perfect vessel so that the Christ energy can express and live in us. Virgo's original meaning has been somewhat lost. She was associated with the Virgin of the ancient goddess traditions. In these traditions, the virgin goddess was not the feminine counterpart of a male god. The original meaning of the word virgin was one in herself. She stood alone as a divinity in her own right. For males and females, the virgin goddess is that part of us that is single and whole, with complete access to our intuitive knowing, our knowledge, and our wisdom. And we all have this archetype within us. It's not a matter of gender. So this month, we're challenged to reconnect or connect more deeply to that intuitive wisdom. In esoteric astrology, there are 3 feminine figures that illustrate the Virgo energies. Eve, who is said to symbolize the mental energy, the capacity to think. Isis, who represents the emotional energy or the feeling plane, the desire nature. And Maria represents the physical plane, the place of incarnation. These are the 3 aspects of the personality: physical, emotional, mental, through which the Christ energy must find expression. And Virgo represents the synthesis of these 3 aspects: Eve, thought; Isis, feeling; and Maria, the body. Now let's talk for a few minutes about the dichotomies of Virgo and her opposite sign, Pisces. Remember that the opposite sign always needs to be balanced with the sun sign. So these 2 energies are very, very different. And it's very interesting to try to figure out how they would work well together. Virgo is solid earth. Pisces is fluid water. Mercury, as one of the rulers of Virgo, brings in the qualities of the concrete mind. So Virgos are usually very logical in their thinking. They have a lot of discernment. They have the ability to analyze and discriminate. So where Virgo is logical in her thinking, Pisces sort of lives up there in the mystical realms. Virgo loves to reason and analyze, and Pisces says just surrender to the mystery. Virgo believes in what she can see, feel, touch, and hear. Pisces says, can't you have a little faith? Where Virgo can fret and nitpick, Pisces says, imagine the possibilities, accept what is. Virgo's instincts are outraged that Pisces would make decisions without all the facts. Pisces just wants to believe in something. He doesn't care about the facts. So what's the balance here? Well, I think each holds a part of the truth. Neither can find the whole truth without the other. We need discernment. We need facts and our reasoning abilities. But we also need to look beyond that for a vision and a faith in the seen and unknown. So we can use the Pisces energy to create a vision and Virgo's logical reasoning mind to implement and manifest that vision. Our world desperately needs this visionary Pisces energy right now. A Course in Miracles reminds us that if we want to change the world, we have to change the way we think about the world. How do we do this? I think one way to do this is by opening our hearts and letting the vision of what is possible fill our minds. It's so easy at this time to be sucked into the emotional reactiveness of what's going on in our world. And I think it's very easy to lose track of what is possible, what can emerge out of this chaos. We're told in the ancient wisdom teachings that chaos always precedes expansion. So we're going through a difficult labor. Something is wanting to be born. So can we let that vision of what wants to be born, the possibilities of what can emerge out of this chaos, can we let that fill our minds instead of sinking into fear? I think that's our challenge. So let's make that the focus of our meditation today. In the midst of all the violence and the chaos and the confusion in our world, let's hold the vision of what we want our world to become. And let's infuse this vision with our passion and intention. And then let us bring our rational minds into the picture to help us see what action we might take ourselves to manifest this vision. For the visual tonight, during our meditation, I've chosen a picture of kind of a symbolic picture of Virgo. It's the Virgin, the Mother, holding the Christ child. And I know not everybody likes to meditate with pictures or things on the screen. So just, sometimes people do like to look at pictures and get into their meditation that way, and other people just like to close their eyes. So just choose whatever way works for you. And we will begin to prepare now for meditation. All right. So let's begin by just taking a few deep breaths. Be sure you're sitting in a comfortable position, and just quietly begin to notice the rhythm of your breathing. On the in-breath, imagine light entering your body. See it dissolving all tensions and sweeping them out on the out-breath. See this body as full of light. On the next in-breath, imagine light and love streaming through the emotional body. See it contacting unresolved emotional issues. See them dissolve and being swept out on the out-breath. See the emotional body full of light. And now imagine light sweeping through the mental body on the in-breath. See it contacting old forms of thinking or limited thoughts. See them unravel and being swept out on the out-breath. See this body as full of light. So imagine your physical, emotional, and mental bodies now filled with light. Now in your mind's eye, visualize the color royal blue. This is the color of the Virgo energy. Imagine yourself bathed in that color. See the mist of blue descend into your room and penetrate your body. Breathe it in and permit it to flow comfortably through your entire being. State inwardly your intention to be open and receptive to the energies of Virgo. Holding yourself in that place of openness, imagine now that you can see the astrological alignment that is taking place in the sky at this time of the full moon. See that golden electromagnetic beam of light connecting the sun, the moon, the earth, and the constellation of Virgo, creating a portal that allows the divine energies of Virgo to flow through to you. Open yourself to receive these powerful energies. Imagine the purifying energies of Virgo filling your being, cleansing all obstacles and hindrances, purifying your body. We seek to become pure vehicles for the Christ consciousness this month. We are pregnant this month, and within our womb is the seed of the soul. From this place of purity, let us imagine the world we wish to manifest. See in your mind's eye a world free of struggle, free of war and poverty. See people all over the world living in harmony and peace. See humanity acknowledging the divinity within each other. Imagine yourself acknowledging the divinity, the soul, in each person in your environment. See right human relationships played out all over our globe. See the distribution of resources spread to every corner of the world. Everyone well fed, everyone with shelter, everyone safe. See a world of beauty, harmony, and peace. And hold that vision vividly in your imagination. And now imbue that vision with the love and compassion that a world like that would demonstrate. And now think of one concrete action that you might take to help make this vision a reality. No matter how small, just commit to one action to help heal our world. Now let us use our creative imaginations again to visualize all of us, all of the light workers in the world, joining hands to encircle our planet. Imagine that we link soul to soul with each person in the circle until we see a radiant, powerful circle of light surrounding our Earth. Imagine that light irradiating the entire planet, lighting up the Earth. See the Earth as a beacon of light in the cosmos. This is her destiny, to be a beacon of light in the universe. Let us hold this vision in our awareness for just a few minutes, imbuing it with all of our focus and attention. Now, in your mind's eye, see the light that has been created around the Earth, going forth into all the places on the planet that are in need of healing at this particular time. The wildfires in California, the violence in our cities, the virus. Send the light forth with this prayer. May the forces of light aid all those in need. May their suffering be lifted. May all beings be safe. May all beings be restored. And take a moment now to give thanks for the opportunity to assist in the healing of our Earth. We'll close now with the great invocation. This is a world prayer that was given out to the world by a Tibetan master, Dwal Kul, in 3 different installments. The first one was in 1935, and the other 2 were in early 1940s. And this isn't the one that we usually say at the end of the at the end of the ceremony, but I think that this is so appropriate for now that I'd like to say it for you. Let the forces of light bring illumination to humankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May people of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of every human be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for your participation. I appreciate having you all here. And don't forget to use the chat box if you have a comment to make, or if you want to copy down those links that I gave you.